Hey guys, welcome to the shop, and today we're going to be building Thor's hammer. And here's a picture of the hammer. I don't intend on the handle being slanted. It's going to be about 10 inches long and 6 inches wide and tall. Since the hammer is going to be 6 inches tall and 6 inches wide, I'm going to go ahead and rip all the 6-inch sections that I need. And now to cross-cut all the side pieces to 10 inches. Alright, so I made a slight miscalculation. And since both these squares are 6 inches by 6 inches, when we put these together, they'd stay up. If we put them like that, it's going to end up being 6 inches by 7 inches. So I'm going to have to rip two of these down about 1 inch. So there's the head of the hammer so far, compared with just, you know, a normal hammer here. Alright, now I've cut out 4 10-inch sections of 2x4. But why would I do that? With the end of the hammer being 6 inches by 6 inches and the plywood being 1/2 inch thick, I'm going to have a 5-inch by 5-inch area inside. And if I'm going to go around and router all of the edges, I can't exactly put nails or any kind of hardware into the ends. But 3.5 inches tall, 1.5 inches tall, and it makes 5 inches. So if we take all of these and make a nice neat little square, now we have a 5-inch by 5-inch square. So I'm going to go ahead and screw that all together. Now what I'm doing here might be a little bit overkill. At the bottom I have the end of the hammer. I've got 2 of the inner parts here, and I've got one clamped up so that they're both flush on the edge, and now they're both going to be flush at the bottom. And since it's coal lumber, I have 2 clamps holding them both together. I've drilled 2 counterbore things so that the screw will go through and actually hold the 2 pieces together. And now I'm just going to continue to do the rest of it. Well, so far I'd say it's going pretty well. I've got 8 screws in this, 8 2-inch screws, and it's got some nice weight to it. But now we need to go ahead and figure out how we're going to attach the rest of it together. Well, we got it all put back together, and I'd say that works out pretty well. So now let's take it up to the garage and go glue it together. Alright, now I've just put some nails in the top here so that when I flip it over, take off the clamps, this middle part stays on. That gives me a good base that I can now glue everything else onto. Alright, now I've already gone ahead and marked the very center of the box and took a marking pen and punched a tiny hole in there. Now, I'm going to take a 1-inch spade bit, put it on the drill press, and then I'll be able to add in a 1-inch dowel. Alright, and now I'm going to cut in, and remember, there's a bunch of 2x4s inside, so if I go in a bit, that'll still work. That's actually as far down as it'll go, so I'm going to find some more stuff to prop it up so I can cut deeper. Now that I have the head of the hammer clamped down, I can use a 45-degree router bit to angle off the sides and the edges. Alright, now for this part, I don't have any wood putty, and I don't feel like running up to the store, so I have a little glob of glue underneath here and some sawdust, and I'm going to hope that this will work. I'm just going to make a little paste out of this, and my applicator stick is a 1/16 of an inch, which might fit in here. Alright, I've got it all clamped up here. Spins freely because I haven't attached it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and put on a coat of dark gray primer since I'm going to spray paint it silver. Alright, we'll let that coat dry for a bit, and come back and do another one. Now before I put on the next coat of primer, I found a thicker dowel rod, so I'm going to go ahead and try to cut a bigger hole. Now how I did that was I just hacked off a piece that I was using to hold it up while painting it, stuck that down in there, and put a dot right in the center. Okay, smoke's coming out of the bottom. I don't think I did that right. When the hammer starts smoking, I think I did something wrong. Alright, I got the thicker dowel rod on there and it feels a lot better. So now I need to go and put on another coat. Turns out I forgot the little circle that goes on top of the head of the hammer. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out now. Since I forgot the little circle up here on top, I'm going to go ahead and put another coat of primer on here. The Thor's hammer is great when it's dark gray and everything, but what if it was a little bit shinier? Well, that's what this is for. Now for the fun part of the hammer, gluing it together. Get a little on the bottom there. Alright. And now we'll let that dry. Alright, well I had a bit of a recording mishap, but what I got done was the leather wrapping on the handle. It's not pretty, but it works, and it'll at least look good sitting on a shelf. I also have a small black iron cap. I think that's black iron. I bought it over in the plumbing section of a hardware store. It was silver and shiny, so I figured that would work. Maybe it's galvanized, I don't know. Got this little loop in there, and I just used a ton of Gorilla epoxy to hold this on. Now I know there isn't all the details and stuff on here that there probably should have been, but for me, just putting this up on the shelf how it is, I think this will look pretty cool. The only thing I wish I would have done differently was, similar to this cap, there was a plate that went down here, but it was like $15. I couldn't justify that. Not for something that's just going to sit on a shelf. So there's my Thor's hammer. Hope you guys like it. And Boo's also back there. I'm going to poke the cat.